folks, we've made it to the week of the NFL Scouting Combine. You talk about Alabama players representing that Crimson Tide at the NFL Scouting Combine. Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana. But you're rocking and rolling right now on the hottest show in these streets, talking your Bama football news in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have you guys in here checking out the show on tonight. We bring you the show, as always, from the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you on YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you go ahead right now, tap that subscribe button, hit subscribe right now, smash the like button, hit the like button, run those likes to the roof. Trying to get this thing out the gate, 50 likes to start the show. We appreciate you. The daily Super Chat go $100. Daily Super Chat go $100 right there. My man Big Bill! Bill from New York getting us started with an $8 donation. Appreciate Bill. And my man Ty Alexander dropping in a $4 donation as well. So that daily Super Chat go $100. Thanks to you, the fans, making this your spot here to talk Bama football. Turn on all of those notifications to make sure you miss nothing here on your Crimson Tide. We got a great one tonight. Got a fantastic one tonight. We want you to be a part of this. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358 to let your voice be made heard. Don't let the night go by without being a part of the conversation. 205-448-1358. One more time. 205-448-1358. Got the man Eli Walker here in studio. And Eli, we start off with this right here. Alabama was able to find the replacement for one Austin Armstrong, inside linebackers coach, of which Florida has announced, made it official. He is the new defensive coordinator. But they've been working fast, found the new guy. But was the new guy the right guy? Is the new guy going to work? Is the new guy going to get this inside linebacker position back to being dangerous, back to being monsters, back to being dominant, back to being elite, back to being the type or having to play at the inside linebacker position that we grew accustomed to seeing prior to the last few years? So Saban found the inside linebackers coach. He replaced Austin Armstrong with Robert Bala. That's the name. Robert Bala, on last week, the former staffer at Liberty, former defensive analyst at Liberty, joined Alabama's coaching staff as the inside linebackers coach. Now, Bala, young guy, very, very young guy, and doesn't have just a whole lot of experience in college football. If you look at his coaching resume, his stops have come from small junior college programs. We're talking about Palomar College. We're talking about just different small schools. Southern Arizona, which was his alma mater. He came from a lot of Snow College, another small school. Came from small schools. Like, his first big break came 2014, and that was at the Oakland Raiders in the NFL. He spent a year there, and then his second big break came at Liberty. Not necessarily not a Power 5 school in college football, but Liberty and the Oakland Raiders are the two recognizable programs you see when you look at Robert Bala. Everything else is small school, relatively unknown school. So he's an unknown product. He's an unknown commodity. Apparently, what I heard from talking to close people I know in the program, he blew it away in the interviews, dynamic in the interviews. We've seen this before with Pete Golding, who in 2018 was dynamic in the interviews, blew everybody away, coming from University of Texas, San Antonio. If you sit down with Pete Golding, it's like he's taking you through a coaching seminar. But when it got down to on the field, developing, coaching, getting the dog out of players, and having the defense run around the field and knock guys' heads off, he didn't give you that. it did not give you that on a consistent basis here. So you look at Robert Bala, and the question that we're all asking ourselves, and I myself included, was this the right move? Is this the right move by Saban? Did Saban get the right guy? I know I brought up Nico Johnson, played at Alabama, won national championships. He's now at Texas as a graduate assistant with defensive linemen. I brought up Sean Dion Hamilton, played at Alabama, won 2 national championships, is on the defensive staff of Dan Campbell with the Detroit Lions. But did Saban make the right move here with Bala? And it's good to ask this question. I understand a lot of fans will say, trust the GOAT, trust Nick. He the one that got 7 national titles. He the one that's done all this great stuff. He the one making the money. Trust Nick. I trust Nick. And I understand the people that feel that way. But I'm also in the camp of people, we question God Almighty every day of our lives. And I will put myself in that conversation. Guilty! I will put myself in that I woke up the other day asking God, why is it raining? I mean, I checked the weather forecast, and Siri and James Spann told me only a 10% chance of rain, yet the bottom fell out. God, why is it raining? We question God every day. So if we do that, Nick Saban, not beyond being questioned. It's just a question of Robert Bala. Is this the guy? Like, is this it? Like, is this individual what Bama needs? Just due to, I mean, I can understand part of the hire. Nick Saban likes to recruit the state of California. We know this. Robert Bala is from Oceanside, California. And after you lost your ace recruiter for the West Coast in Steve Sarkisian to Texas, you had to kind of get that back. You get that back with Robert Bala. I get that. I understand that completely. And I understand the fact that, people may also say, well, he's young, he can relate to players, and that's important. But along with relating to players, just as important is developing those guys and getting the utmost out of those guys and pulling the instincts out of those guys. Because the one position that you as Alabama fans have been growing concerned about is that inside linebacker position, which is the position that Bala is going to coach. That's the area I have been growing with concern. When are we going to have them killers, them ruthless guys, them hateful competitors? When are we going to have those dudes again at inside linebacker? Them dudes like we had with McClain and Nico Johnson and Donta Hightower and C.J. Mosley and Reggie Ragland and Reuben Foster and Sean Dion and Rashawn Evans. When are we going to have them dudes again that people look in their face and just pee their pants because they're scared to death? When we going to have them dudes again? And I know a lot of people say, well, Steve and Bama also won a national championship in 2020. Yes, Bama did, but Dylan Moses was playing through pain, so he wasn't all the way himself. And then, of course, Christian Harris, though athletic as all get out, was still kind of raw at that linebacker position because he played defensive back throughout his high school career in Louisiana, though he did grow at the linebacker spot. The point being is, it's just kind of eerie how there are big names out there, and Bama couldn't seem to get one of the big names as far as a position coach because, you lose out on Austin Armstrong. We'll never know what he would become over here because now he's at Florida. But at least with Austin Armstrong, Southern Miss is a recognizable program. Louisiana Lafayette is a recognizable program. Both of those is where Austin Armstrong was. He even spent a year at Georgia on Kirby Smart's staff. So at least Austin Armstrong was at, group of 5 schools, college football schools recognizable here. Robert Bala, kind of an unknown. The good feather in his hat is Hugh Freeze gave him a glowing review. Hugh Freeze had defeated Coach Saban twice during Freeze's time as the head coach of Ole Miss, 2012 through 2016. Hugh Freeze is the head coach of Liberty. Prior to taking the Auburn job, he said Robert Bala, a great evaluator, a great recruiter, a great dude, just a coach on the rise. That's what he said about Robert Bala. Bala, last year at Liberty, witnessed a defense, helped a defense from behind the scenes have 121 tackles for loss. That was first in the country. Also helped the defense that totaled 45 sacks at an average of 3.46 sacks per game. That was third in the country. So he did some good things. It's just, is this the guy, right? Is this the guy that can get that inside linebacker room back playing elite football? That's all I want to know. Maybe I'm wrong. Prayerfully, I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I hope Bala comes in here and balls the heck out and has these linebackers with their hair on fire. I hope that's what it is. I pray it's what it is. But just looking at the optics of it, does not have a whole bunch of experience. Not necessarily a guy that screams Alabama. I don't know. This is what I don't know. This is one of those we're going to have to see. Is this an upgrade from Pete Golding? This is just something we're going to have to see. Folks, we're going to take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting started. Upon our return, I want to get your thoughts. Line us up. Ring the phones. Blow the line up. I want your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. I mean, what do you think of the Robert Bala hire? Is this it? Let us know. We'll get to you after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, Bama Nation, what's happening with you? It is Monday on the hottest show on the streets, covering your Crimson Tide. Football news, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got the man Eli Walker in the production studio. Continue tapping the like button. Hitting that like button right there, giving us that thumbs up, raising up those like levels right there. Daily Super Chat Go, $100. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 there. We appreciate the support from you. We go to the phone lines now to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steven, I'll tell you what, it's Monday. Tell me how you liking this 80-degree weather, man. Lay it on me. Give me some good news.
Well, my man, our weather's some great weather outside. We really enjoyed the drive up here. Coach Saban's got Robert Bala to coach the inside linebackers. We'll see. We'll see how this unfolds. We'll see how this works out. I mean, young guy, not a whole lot of experience. You're wondering, was this the best move? We just gonna have to see. We are just going to have to see. I mean, in other words, in other news, though, a win over Auburn for Alabama men's basketball. They win the SEC title outright.
I'm ready. I got my tickets, baby. I'm ready. I'm going to be sitting right there in the center, but I'm going to be rooting them on. We got to have a win Wednesday night. Bring your hard hat and put it on. I'm going to have my American flag hard hat on. You going to come to the game, you going to have your hard hat on?
Man, I look to be there. I look to be right there trying to see, how many times Brandon Miller going to dunk on somebody.
What I'm talking about. That's what we got to have the SEC championship. How many times has the SEC championship been won in college basketball the last few years? Alabama's won it a couple of times. Auburn's won it one time. So what will this be? Alabama's third time, second time here? Well, what is that, second or third time? Is that right?
It'll be the second time under Nate Oates. It will be the second time.
Yeah. Second time under Nate Oates. So, hey, we rolling here. I tell you what, so we got to be ready Wednesday night for this basketball game. We got to put them Tigers in a cage. We got to turn Miller loose. Ain't no doubt about it. But y'all looking good tonight. We won't be back for Wednesday night there. We'll be at the ball game, so we're going to be there and rocking and rolling. So y'all be safe. Y'all make this show the hottest show on the street, hottest show in the country, greatest show on earth. Ain't no doubt about it. We love all y'all. We'll be back maybe Friday. Y'all be safe. Have a great week. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate the President Waylon calling into the show. Crimson Tide can get that SEC title in basketball with the win here Wednesday over Auburn. Of course, they end the regular season on the road against Texas A&M before SEC tournament play coming up March here in Tennessee. But we take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hi, Stephen. Bill from New York. How you doing, man?
Doing good, Bill. Doing good. How you feeling, brother?
Well, good. It's looking good. First, I just want to say that I'm not worried about this guy, Bala. I'm going to tell you why. The inside linebacker, and here's where I differ with some guests on other shows. Like the inside linebacker position just isn't what it used to be. Like I'm old, you know what I mean? I go back to the days of Willie Lanier and Dick Buckus. And, yeah, those days were great, but they're over. I mean, even Reuben Foster, he was a freak that he could do anything. But today, the inside linebackers, I think their primary job is coverage. I do. And you're not getting these, like, killer beasts anymore. Not the way everyone is. Football's a passing sport. When they made the rule changes in the NFL in 2010, they completely revolutionized the game and made it a passing game. And if this guy's a young guy, and if he screws up, he's got Coach Saban, he's got all kinds of guys. Coach Saban, he got rid of him in the middle of the season. If the guy's a screw up, what does he care? But what I want to talk a little bit about is quarterback. Is that okay?
Let's do it. Let's do it, Bill. Let's do it.
All right. Look, I'm no expert. I don't know as much as you or any of the coaches, so on and so forth. All I could do is watch replays of the games and YouTube tapes, videos. And I'm looking at Milroe, right? And the guy, he's a super, super talent. What I do notice on his passes, he puts a lot of air under the ball. He could throw a deep ball, but he's got like tons of air under it. And I think that's when he gets picked off. And when I watch him, he could do anything. He's a super specimen. If he wanted to be, he could probably be a defensive end, let alone anything else. I just don't know, Stephen. I don't know. He's got a lot to prove. And I look at 2 times when there was this much of a quarterback controversy in recent memory. One was the year Jalen came up again, and the guy Blake, I think was his name, started out the season. And the other one, of course, involved Jalen, was Jalen and Tua. But this one, there's so much competition. And I think everything's going to depend on this season. If now, me and you discussed a line. If we got the kind of, like a better line, like that me and you talked about them having, I think they could really win it all. On defense and especially offense, the quarterback is going to tell the story. What do you think, Stephen?
I think Alabama, Bill, is going to have a line offensively. And as I've mentioned before, if I could predict it right now, what it would be from left to right on that line, I would have it J.C. Latham, Tyler Booker, Seth McLaughlin, the freshman Caden Proctor at right guard, then right tackle Elijah Pritchett. Those would be my 5. And that 5 averaging, 6'7", 6'8", with the smallest guy being McLaughlin at 6'3" or 6'4", you're looking at potentially a Joe Moore Award type line. Should that all gel together with that line, you could really do some things, especially where the run game is concerned, and easing Jalen Milroe and or Ty Simpson into those passing situations. So I think the line, you're going to have the line.
Well, then we could win. We just got to find the right quarterback. And I'll be honest, I don't know who it is. I really don't know. I want it to be Milroe. He's such a good guy. I don't know much about, the other guy's personalities. He's such a good kid, and he's got so much talent. But you know what? Talent alone doesn't always do it, Stephen. You know what I mean? Like, Brady had less talent than, like, a lot of quarterbacks, and he was better than any of them. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I guess I'll just have to wait it out like everybody else. I just don't know what's going to happen. Do you have any strong ideas?
Well, right now, just due to the experience that Milroe got last year, I would look at him, but this is why this spring practice this year is so important. This is probably the most important spring that I'm about to witness in quite some time in the Nick Saban era, just due to all of the newness. You look at new coaches, new coordinators, new quarterback, new pieces on defense. There's a lot of newness here. So this spring is going to be one where if you're an Alabama fan, you got to be glued to every TV possible, because this is going to be a very intriguing spring.
It's going to be great, Stephen. And listen, thanks for taking my call. God bless and roll tide, everybody.
Absolutely. Bill from New York calling in right there. Good call from Bill. Another quarterback debate that people forget. Remember how Blake Sims, Jacob Coker, how controversial that – you remember that, Eli? How controversial that was in 2014? I remember that. I remember 2014. It was the summer of 2014. And I got to tell the story, because in this story there's context. 2014, I was a senior at the University of Alabama. It was the summer. I had just gotten out of my computer science 352 class, coding. I hated that class. I had to drop it. I had just got out of my computer science 352 class. It was a Thursday afternoon. I was going to Burke Dining Hall to eat steak, because Thursday was steak day. I get inside the dining hall. There's Blake Sims. And I'm like, I'm going to sit down with my boy Blake. And Blake has a triple-decker cheeseburger, pound high. And we're sitting down, and Blake and I are talking about the quarterback competition between he and Coker. And I'm like, man, Blake, man, this Coker guy is here, man. He's like 6'5". They're talking about he's the guy. And Blake's like, nah, Steve, the job is mine. I'm like, Blake, but for real, this Coker dude, he big. Steve, the job is mine. I mean, I know what you're saying, Blake, but this Coker cat right here. And Blake literally got up, did not touch his cheeseburger, walked out the door. Didn't even say bye to me. At that moment, I knew one of two things. Either A, I'm gonna fuse in him to take the quarterback job and make sure it's his, or B, I really ticked him off. But I think I'm gonna go with A, but I inspired him. But that 2014 thing season between Blake and Sims and Jacob Coker, that was a quarterback thing also. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens in spring ball, man. Spring ball is gonna be fun for the Crimson Tide. But cool call topic right here. Speaking of quarterbacks, Eli, how about Mac Jones? Mac Jones, of whom a lot of people have been wondering, are the Patriots going to move off of Mac Jones? Mac Jones rubbing people the wrong way in New England. They're saying all types of things about Mac, but Devin McCourty, former Patriot, 3-time Super Bowl champion, was on Good Morning Football. McCourty said, Mac Jones is the future of the Patriot. He is that guy. Mac Jones, McCourty is so excited about what Jones is going to do in the fall just because of Bill O'Brien's back in New England. He's going to create things in the passing game that's going to really help Mac stretch the field, because I've said this before. I mean, Matt Patricia, good dude, but Patricia don't know offense. That's the reason why the Patriots struggled last year, this past season. As a rookie, who did Mac have? Josh McDaniels, an offensive guru. What did Mac Jones do? Oh, nothing but set rookie franchise records in passing yards, 3,801, and touchdown passes with 22. I mean, go figure. You go get you another offensive guy in Bill O'Brien. You're New England. Go maybe grab one more receiver, possibly two more in this draft, and then roll the dice from there. I don't think there's an issue with Mac Jones. Mac has always been feisty. He's always been competitive. He's always been a very confident dude. That even goes back to his time at Alabama. Been a very confident dude there. So hopefully New England is able to do some right things in this draft. Go get Jahmyr Gibbs if you want to as a running back. That'd be a good move for you. Pick up Jahmyr Gibbs. But we'll take a break right here, folks, and touch that dial. When we get back, we'll dive into the conversation of Bryce Young and Will Anderson. They've got their decisions made in terms of the NFL scouting combine. We'll discuss after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
This is Matt Caddell, former Alabama wide receiver, and you're listening to In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith with Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And I got two words to say, baby. Roll Tide.
We're back into the action, folks, from the break on a Monday. Hottest show on the streets. Talking your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. And folks, on tomorrow, have it locked right here, 6 p.m. Central Time on the TDA YouTube channel. We got the Bama Standard tomorrow with Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker, and Bama legend Marvin Constant, two-time national champion and USFL champion Bo Scarborough. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. We got the laughs, we got the fun, we got the excitement. It's the Bama Standard. We got former Bama running back, Bama legend, Bobby Humphrey is joining the show on tomorrow. You don't want to miss Bobby Humphrey coming on to share some wisdom with us here. So 6 p.m. Central Time, Bama Standard, TDA's YouTube channel. But Elon got some Bama in the NFL news, Bama in the NFL scouting combine this week. On tomorrow, all 319 prospects for the combine will make landfall onto Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. The workouts will take place March the 2nd through March the 5th. Catch those on NFL Network. Two prominent former Bama players, that being Bryce Young and Will Anderson, have made their decision in terms of the combine. So, first and foremost, Bryce Young, he will not throw at the combine. Bryce will not throw, even though he has healed up from the sprained AC joint to his throwing shoulder that he had during the regular season last year. Bryce will not throw at the combine. Instead, he will take part in interviews. He will save his workout for Alabama's Pro Day, which is perfectly fine because I'm not concerned about Bryce's arm. I ain't worried about it. I can just watch the tape. Bryce is making all of these throws from ridiculous angles on the field. It's all on tape. You watch the film, you watch the all 22 cam, getting all those different camera angles. They'll tell you right there, Bryce Young can straight up rip the football with accuracy, with timing, with precision. He layers it in there, anticipates his throws extremely well, creates with that. Bryce will have to throw at the combine. Nah, he's fine. Save that for the pro day. Bryce Young's career at Alabama, we're talking about 8,356 passing yards, second all-time, 80 touchdown passes, second all-time. So, yeah, Bryce will choose to throw at his pro day. Will Anderson will actually compete in some events at the Combine. So will be in some events. Now, what's interesting here, he was more so of an edge rusher at Alabama, though he was listed as an outside linebacker, more of an edge rusher. Played outside linebacker, hand in the ground, defensive end at times. I thought the NFL would list him more as an edge and have him maybe work with more defensive ends at the Combine, but they got Will Anderson listed here as a linebacker for the Combine. So that'll be interesting. Will they have him working on dropping back in coverage? They could. We could see a lot of Anderson at the Combine dropping back in coverage. So it's something to keep our eyes on, focus on, zero in on. But Bryson will have made the decisions. Bryce will throw at his pro day. He'll just take part in the interviews here at the Combine. And just, I'm going to say this on Bryce. There's just so much conversation right now about, other quarterbacks in this draft class. One in particular, there's a conversation about Will Levis of Kentucky. And no offense to Will Levis. Guy's a good talent. Big talent. Will more than likely get drafted in the top 10 according to a lot of these projections here. But I was watching one radio personality or TV personality today talking about, I like my quarterbacks when they get kicked around a little bit. Kentucky didn't have LSU talent and Georgia talent and Bama talent and Ohio State talent. And Will Levis had to wheel Kentucky. Like, he had to go through all of this adversity. He's tough. He's resilient. He's got to be a top. You got to take him the morning for all. I mean, look at Will Levis. And I'm like, so Bryce Young went through no adversity? Bryce Young had to watch Mac Jones Bryce's freshman year. That's adversity right there. Bryce Young, do y'all not know what Bryce Young had to overcome last year? Folks talking about Bryce Young that went through no adversity. Are you kidding me? You had to overcome Booth O'Brien, who literally turned the play sheet over 20 dozen times and still didn't know what to do half the time. You had to overcome Bill O'Brien. Receivers dropping passes, hitting them dead in their hands. An offensive line that a quarter of the time you were running for your life. Oh, and you had a shoulder injury. Like, Bryce played through all that. But Bryce did go through no adversity. Okay. Bryce went through a lot of adversity and was the guy carrying the team to college football playoff appearance in 2021 in the national championship game, and then carried the team to the All-State Sugar Bowl this past season. But yet, Will Levis has been through more adversity than Bryce Young. I mean, Will Levis is good. He's fantastic. Taking nothing away from that young man. But when I hear, Alabama's got this, Alabama's got that. You don't go through adversity at Alabama. Look at what Bryce Young went through last year. That's some adversity. You look at what that cat went through. That's some adversity. Okay. And still, at Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, played it. Didn't even have to play in it. Played in it. And lit the world on fire in the Sugar Bowl. But Bryce and Will made the decisions. Looking forward to watching both of them at the Combine. Bryce in the interview process. Will doing some on-field drills, on-field workouts there. Also looking forward to seeing names like Jahmyr Gibbs, Eli Ricks, Jordan Battle, DeMarco Hellams, Emil Ekiyor Jr., Cameron Latu, just a lot of names for Alabama. 13 of them will be at Lucas Oil Stadium trying to furthermore increase the draft stock for prospective NFL teams. But we take a break right here, folks. We'll touch that dial. When we get back, we return to the phone lines to get your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Let us know what you think after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, folks, we're rocking and rolling back in here to the action from the break on a Monday. Giving you your Crimson Tide football news in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue hitting the like button, tapping that like button, give us that thumbs up there on the show. Hit the subscribe button as well. That daily Super Chat Go, $100 daily. Super Chat Go, $100 right there. We appreciate the support coming from you. Phone lines open as the call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358. Number to call in. Let your voice be made known. 205-448-1358. As you guys are getting your thoughts in, getting your ideas to call in. I mean, Eli, there's just so much to be excited about, not just for spring football, but for next season. I mean, the position groups that we're going to get a chance to watch, the coaching staff, trying to watch this team snatch the crown back from, or trying to, snatch the crown back from Georgia, or trying to convince the world that Georgia's not the king of college football just yet. Alabama is still breathing at that position. So, a lot of fun things to watch in college football in the upcoming season. But even in this offseason, we still got football to watch. The USFL going to start soon. The XFL, A.J. McCarron doing some big things. You got Bama men's basketball. You think about the upcoming NCAA tournament. Bama softball has started. Team 27. Off to a great start so far. So even in an offseason where you may not have Alabama football, you still have other things to keep your attention occupied until fall camp and the football season returns. So a lot of things to be pumped up about. But call topic right here. This goes to one Jalen Hurts, who won the NFC Offensive Player of the Year at the 101 Awards. Kudos to Jalen Hurts in the Offensive Player of the Year during the regular season for the Eagles. Finished 10th among quarterbacks for passing yards, 3,701. Total 35 total touchdowns to just 6 interceptions. In the postseason, Jalen Hurts, 579 yards passing, 143 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns. A tremendous Super Bowl outing, 304 passing yards, 70 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, I'm still looking at this Philadelphia defense going, why? Why? Jalen should have a Vince Lombardi trophy right now. He should literally have a Vince Lombardi trophy right now. That's okay. I mean, he gonna get the money anyway. He gonna get the money, and soon he'll have the Eagles making another appearance for the Super Bowl, hopefully this time around. Well, next time around it would be for that Vince Lombardi trophy. But congrats to him on winning the NFC Offensive Player of the Year. But we're going to get into our final break of the show, folks. When we get back, we're going to have a little discussion. This year's team. Can this year's team turn the clock back for Saban in terms of him getting everything out of every single player on the field? We'll wrap up a loose end that after this.
Touchdown Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're rocking and rolling. We're back into the action here from the break on the hottest show on these streets, talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. As always, people, don't forget tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on the TDA YouTube channel. We got the Bama Standard with Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker and Bama legend Marvin Constant, two-time national champion and USFL champion Bo Scarborough, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. We got the fun, we got the excitement, we got the laughter, we got the information. We're going to have Bama legend Bobby Humphrey on the show, so do not miss out on the Bama Standard tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time. But we're going to wrap things up with this right here, and it's a very interesting discussion. It's, Coach Saban, will this Alabama team coming up right here be able to sort of turn back the clock for Coach Saban? And, is he going to get everything out of this year's team? Not letting certain things slide, have that discipline, attention to detail, energy, hard-nosed, tough coaching. Getting Alabama back to that pinnacle, so to speak. The reason why I ask this is I was watching Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN the other day, and they had Louis Riddick on there, former NFL player, former NFL scout, pro personnel guy, now an NFL analyst. And Riddick was a defensive back. He played safety for the Cleveland Browns during the time of Bill Belichick being there and Nick Saban as the head coach. And, Louis Riddick said, hey, playing for those two guys, it was no joke. They had their thumb on everything. They weren't those pat you on the back, you all right. Nah, they held you accountable. Louis Riddick said there were nights where I didn't want to go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep. I had to stay awake. And when you look at Nick Saban the last 2 years, it hasn't necessarily been that type of coaching just due to just small things sliding. Now, I understand as you get older, Father Time takes a hold of you in some areas. But he can't take a hold of Saban in every area, right? There's got to be an area where Saban can kind of turn back the clock, regain some stuff. Got to be in this area right here. Got to have everybody bought in. Got to have everybody held accountable. Got to have everybody playing to that relentless, competitive, tough standard of. You gotta get back to that college football play. You gotta win a national championship. You've never let 3 years in a series go by without winning it. He's never done that. You got to continue that track record. And I think the good thing about this year's team, I think Saban's got some players on this year's team, especially in the 2023 recruiting class, that will allow him to kind of turn that clock back some. When you got players like Caleb Downs in this class and Justice Haynes in this class and guys like Caden Proctor in this class, among others, they give you that chance. When you got guys like Deontay Lawson and Kendrick Blackshaw, Jihad Campbell, Sean Murphy, they give you that chance. When you got guys like Corey Brooks, Jermaine Burton, Isaiah Bond, Kobe Prentice. They give you that chance. Kendrick Law. You got guys like Big Jaheim Otis, who dropped 100 pounds. God, he's gone from 416 to 316. That's incredible. You got dudes like that. It gives you a chance to kind of turn the clock. Because that's what Saban wants to do. I mean, I think when David Pollock sat there and said to Nick Saban, George is king now, and Saban gave David Pollock that old side eye, Saban was saying, that's all I needed. That's all I needed. I'm ready to get back to Tuscaloosa and rip college football a new behind. That's all Saban needed. All Saban needed was just somebody to say, you ain't got it no. This team, I think this team is going to help Saban turn that clock back some. Woo! Turn that clock back some and show, hey, he's still Nick Saban. He still can kick your teeth in. He's still that dude. I'm looking forward to this thing. I think players that are on this team, I think the coaches that have been hired, it's going to be fun to watch. My hope is that Robert Bala works. That's my hope. He works? Hey, great googly moogly. Do it. We'll see. As always, folks, you want the best news, notes, information here on Alabama football. You can do this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store, you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll try to be back on Wednesday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. If you're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member and or a subscriber today. That link in the description as well. Guys, shout out you guys, the incredible fans of Bama football, for all your calls, donations, chats, interaction. You're making this your show talk Crimson Tide. Guys, shout out my man Eli Walker in the production studio, handling his business right there. Remember, folks, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, the Bama Standard streaming right here on the TDA YouTube channel. We got Bobby Humphrey, Bama legend, guest on the show. Don't want to miss that. Until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing too. Not be bored there. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man Stephen Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.